So we're going to talk about why we went to Taiwan and then left, and then went back to Taiwan and left again.
That's right, yeah. So when was the first time we went to Taiwan?
I can't remember. It was so long ago.
I just finished my master's degree, and I did a master's degree in East Asian history. I applied for scholarships both in China and in Taiwan and got offered both of them. And in the end, after considering both of the options, decided that Taiwan was the place to go.
And I remember thinking, we were both said at the end, we're like, we need to go.
Yeah.
Because we thought it looked amazing. The food, the culture, just everything about it spoke to us. I really miss the food.
Oh, I know.
I really miss it.
Yeah.
Just take a moment for that. You just can't get it here.
No. Although if you want to see any videos of us trying to make Taiwanese food in England, we'd totally be up for trying that.
We're going to try and make dumplings.
Yeah. Back onto the subject.
I had just finished my teaching qualification, so we were studying at the same university, and I was doing my teaching degree here, so I just qualified as well. So we were both at that point free.
Yeah.
Ish.
And we thought that, given you were a qualified teacher, it would be relatively easy for you to find work in Taiwan.
It was.
Yeah.
which was really nice, because it was a hope, not an expectation. So
yeah. I started my scholarship and quickly realised that the
Chinese is hard.
Chinese is very hard. I'd learned a few things before I went out initially, and realised that it was not enough to functionally do anything. So I was really pleased that I started straight in like full time. I went to the CLD, the Chinese language division at Taida, and at that school you get 3 hours of tuition every single day, with a maximum class size of 6 people. So
it's intense.
Yeah, it's intense. It's hard work, but you learn really quite quickly.
I tried to learn too. It did not go well. I have a genuine, I think my brain just doesn't like language of any kind. But I did try, and I got really good at ordering coffee. That was pretty much all I could do.
You didn't have the advantage of structured lessons and classes, though. All your learning had to come either from me, who is a terrible teacher of Chinese, especially given that I didn't really know any myself, or you had some language exchange partners as well, didn't you? So
I got very good with colours, nouns in general, and ordering a coffee, so I was very pleased.
Yeah. My scholarship was a 1-year scholarship. It was a really cool experience being there, because everyone in my class, there were 6 people in my class, and they were all from different countries. So I had students in my class from Japan, Korea, Switzerland, Sweden, Poland, all over the world. And it was really nice bringing all those people together and learning languages. But we weren't supposed to speak English at all when we were on campus.
Naughty.
A lot of people still did speak English in the breaks, I have to admit. We weren't necessarily the best students.
It's really difficult early on, though, to speak in another language if you don't have the words that you want to use. So I didn't come out until a few months after.
I think about 3 months after I moved out there.
3 months after.
So you were in Taiwan altogether for about 6 months, and I was in Taiwan altogether for about a year on that first time. But then we did come back again.
We did, yes.
Not just us that time.
No. The second time we brought our daughter. So in between the first time we went to Taiwan and the second time, we got married and we had a baby.
We did. And eventually I did finish my PhD. And then once that was all finished, we thought, we'd really, really like to go back to Taiwan.
You'd worked so hard on the PhD, and it had taken so long and so much energy that had ended, so we had the opportunity to be a little bit freer again.
So I looked and I applied for jobs, and then I got a 1-year contract teaching English, and you got to actually spend some time with the baby, because while Laura was working, I was the one when we were in England. Laura was at work and I was at home with the baby, so it was quite nice to be able to swap over.
Yeah, it's one of the things about teaching in the UK. It's very intense and it's very long hours. So it was really nice to be able to spend more time with our daughter. So that was, I really enjoyed it for that. And it's so nice to be in Taiwan where it is sunny and the people are so friendly and the food. And it was nice to be able to introduce our daughter to that.
Yeah, and she was so popular. Everyone in Taiwan seemed to love her so much because
I think that's one of the reasons why she's so friendly. She loves people.
Because everyone was so nice to her all the time, and people would always come over and say hi and want to talk to her and talk in English to her as well. And she was still really young. She hadn't really picked up many words yet, but she was picking up like a combination of English and some Chinese words as well. She could say thank you, and she could say, a few different nouns and things in Chinese.
And I think one of the reasons that she liked it so much was because of people's reactions. So she'd say thank you in Chinese. People were so enthusiastic that she was like, oh. So we'd been in Taiwan for 3 months?
Yeah, we moved out in September, didn't we? And the first news from Wuhan was December, I think, when people first started to hear about potentially there being
an issue.
And then in January, things started to get a bit more serious in Taiwan, but we still weren't really. I don't think many people were aware of how serious the situation was then.
No.
And my parents actually had plans to come out and visit us, and they came out and visited us in February.
But there was even question of whether or not they'd be able to get home. We weren't sure at the time whether or not whether there would be flights flying. And my friend had planned to come out and visit in March, I believe, and she kept having to delay her flight, thinking, again, we all thought that
it was just going to pass by.
That this issue would be able to be controlled. Yeah.
And of course, by March in the UK, things had become very serious very quickly. And Taiwan at that point, thankfully, was their systems had been in place and everything was well controlled, and there wasn't really a major outbreak in Taiwan at all. And we were really happy to be where we were, because if we'd been in the UK, things would have been a lot more dangerous.
Because at that time, obviously, because our friends and family predominantly were in the UK, we were tracking and we were being updated with what the situation was at home, and to see the difference between the two countries was stark.
Yeah.
The way that Taiwan had handled the outbreak was genuinely impressive.
And I think a lot of people in Taiwan wondered why it is we would go back to the UK with all that going on. But I think the thing to remember is that it's not just us. We have family in the UK, and we have older family in the UK, and it didn't feel right to be somewhere else.
Yes, it was a very unusual time, really difficult decision, really. But like you said, we have family here, and we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know how serious things were going to become, if it was going to get worse or if it was going to get substantially better. We didn't know. For us as a family, it was the best decision. It was the best decision that we could have made at that time.
When obviously everyone had a lot of very difficult decisions to make.
It was such a shame. I think that's how. I mean, not that our issues are in any way comparable to what the rest of the world has had to face, but it was a shame that our time in Taiwan had to end like that. It would have been nicer to have friends come out and visit us and be able to share all the things that we love about Taiwan. We were so excited about that. But Taiwan is still there, and we hope to be able to visit again soon.
Once all this clears up, we'll be able to come back again.
We both had our first vaccine, so very pleased about that.
Yeah.
That's real positive. It sounds like a really depressing ending. It wasn't supposed to be like that, but
it's been a difficult year for everybody, and it unfortunately ended our time in Taiwan.
Yes.
For now,